Shalom, brothers and sisters. Happy new moon. I know it's almost over soon, but I pray that your new moon has been well. Give me 2 seconds here. Y'all bear with me for a few seconds. Trying to get my Facebook going, but I hope that your new moon looking for any more information on this walk. Go to LawLife.isteaching.com. Got a lot of information on there. We have a calendar on there for you all. You can subscribe to that calendar. It's free. Subscribe to it, give you updates when upcoming high holy days are coming. You know, it'll give you a little alert, let you know the new moon is approaching, what day is held, what day it ends. Sisters, utilize that. I know a lot of y'all don't know what the new moon is about, but it's a new month according to the Hebrew, according to the children of Israel, according to the Most High. So give me 2 seconds here. See what's up with the, well, I won't be on Facebook this evening because it doesn't seem to give you that option to go live. But anyway, brothers and sisters, shalom, shalom. Happy new moon. I pray that y'all was able to gather and congregate. It's just like a Sabbath. Those brothers and sisters who had to work on this day, I pray that you repent to the Most High. And, you know, try to get that day off if you can. Ask the Most High to make way for you. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to be too long with this. It's the new moon. It's a celebration. It's time for happiness. You know how these wicked holidays that we have in our captivity, everybody walking up to you, happy donut day, happy doorknob day, happy pizza day, happy Thanksgiving. Why y'all don't walk up to them and say, happy new moon? And they'll look at you like, what? What are you talking about? Because, you know, a lot of people who now celebrate a new moon, calling it, saying it's on a full moon, which doesn't make sense. They made a statement that we are following Esau with the new moon that we're following now, how we've been following. The Edomite society does not use the new moon as the beginning of their months. You can actually go to a calendar and see the new moon, even on these Gregorian calendars. That's not the first day of the month for Esau. So you cannot make that statement and say, oh, y'all following Esau, when they did it for so long themselves. But anyway, this is a day of gladness. This is a day of celebration. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 2 right quick. But you know, as the Most High say, every idle word you speak, you got to be careful what you speak. If you don't know what you're talking about, put your hand over your mouth. Meaning, be quiet. Don't say anything. But anyway, let's go to Proverbs 7 and verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. So the Most High commandment is to keep the new moon. It's like a Sabbath. It's a feast day. This is a day of gladness. This is a day you know, everybody want to do family reunions. Everybody want to do all these so-called other holidays to be with their family. You got 12 new moons. Y'all can be together once a month, feasting together, having a good old time. But we don't want to do that. We want to do what the heathen and everybody else doing. We're not doing that. We can't be peculiar. Most High say we are peculiar people. So that's why we keep the new moon as he ordained and commanded. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. So we as repentant brothers and sisters, we're going to rehearse these righteous acts. We're going to keep this new moon because he said, lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my law as the apple of thine eye. So I pray that you you brothers and sisters are keeping the new moon. So I'm going to explain it for you new brothers and sisters who don't understand what the new moon is. We're going to talk about it shortly. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47. Now take it. While we're cursed people, because we didn't take what the Most High gave us. We didn't appreciate it. We want to be like everybody else. We don't want to be separated. We don't want to be separate from everybody else. So verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. The Most High made the world for us. He made it so it was a great gift. We don't want that. It's just like, just imagine how you spit in the Most High face. He gave you everything. And you're like, man, I don't want that. Just like a child, say you gave a child an iPhone. You know, everybody on iPhones. Everybody want the iPhone. iPhone 4 when they wanted the iPhone 6. And they take it. You didn't spend your hard-earned cash for it. You look at it. He or she look at it and smash it on the ground in your face. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be upset. You're going to be kindled with fire and anger. That child. That's why we was punished. In a sense, Most High punished us for he gave you everything. He created this earth for us. He gave us to be the top nation upon the earth. The latter. We don't want that. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. This is a joyful day. I bet somebody right now, they'll turn this class into, oh, it was a debate because I said something about the full moon. No, the scripture says, judge the matters that is a stumbling block for our brothers and sisters. My job is to teach you correctly, regardless, whether you hear or forbear. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God for joyfulness. So I hope this was a joyful occasion for a lot of you brothers and sisters. And with gladness of heart, glad to know it's the new moon. It's a new month. It's a feast. We can have, hey, this good times. Everybody say Thanksgiving, good times, being thankful. This is what you should be thankful for, the knowledge and understanding of the Most High and his ways. And the abundance of all things. You may not think you have everything in the world that you ever desire, but you got a roof over your head, you eating, you got lights, you probably got AC where you are, you got vehicles, we got liberty to go into grocery stores and buy righteous food that's clean according to the Most High, instead of, oh, I got to settle for pork because that's what the slave master gave me. Abundance of all things. He provides you with water. He got you with sight. Most of y'all run around playing video games, doing all kind of stuff. He give you everything. But you throw it behind your back. But today is a blessed day. It's the new moon. So let's go to Genesis chapter 1. And it actually started Sunday sundown. It's actually about to end at sundown. As far as the new moon, the new month beginning. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. Genesis 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for the lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. When God's word goes out, it is what it is. It's going to go. It's going to do what it do, whether you like it or not. So verse 14 again said, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day and from the night. So we got the sun and the moon. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So let's go to in the Apocrypha. If you brothers and sisters don't have an Apocrypha, you can go to lawlife.isteaching.com. Go to the books and document page. The Apocrypha is there for you in PDF. So we're going to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, the Apocrypha, chapter 43. And then when I read this, I am going to touch on the new moon, full moon doctrine just a tad bit. So for those who are confused about it, pray to the Most High that he gives you understanding, and you'll understand what this verse is really, truly talking about. This ain't no debate class. This is the new moon class, so I got to teach you how it is. Sirach chapter 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season. So when you read this chapter, if you start at verse 1, it talks about the sun, its attributes, its commandment to do things. So now it's talking about the moon, because it said he made the moon also to serve in her seasons for declarations of time and a sign of the world. So we read in Genesis 1 and 14 that the two lights were made for signs and declarations of times. From the moon is the sign of feast. We go a feast. We got another feast. It actually helps you calculate when the Passovers and Pentecost and Tabernacle, all those other feasts come in. You can calculate it by your months. Okay. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light. Here comes the confusion that has been brought up in the earth about the full moon. We know the full moon when the moon is fully lit. This is where the doctrine comes from right here. From the moon is the sign of the feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. So they say, oh, it's the moon, it's the new month when it's full of light. See, it's decreasing in her perfection. But it says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. So when it's full and full of light, it says it's perfection. It said a light that decreases in her perfection. Okay? Now let's go to verse 8, which you're going to talk about the month. It said the month is called after her name. The month, that's where you get from the word moon, you get month. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. The new moon is dark moon. A lot of us can't tell it's the new moon until we see that little light, that little sliver. That's that increasing. When it's a new month, it's called a dark moon, dark, because the moon never stops shining. So let me give you a quick definition right quick. Hold your horses. The new moon and astronomy, in astronomy, the new moon is the first phase of the moon. When its orbit is not seen from Earth, it is in the moment. It is at this moment when the moon and the sun have the same elliptical longitude, so they align together. So it's like you see the shadow from Earth of the moon and the sun is lined up together. That's why it says it's the first phase of the moon. So here in this scripture, it says the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. It's increasing. That's why you see it. The month is called in her name, new moon. So it starts increasing. It's going to get to that perfection that you read up in verse 7. A light that decreases in her perfection. Just like a newborn baby. It starts out small and starts growing and growing and growing. Then we get to our full stage of whatever life most I do. We start decreasing. Like they say, we go back to a baby mind, but that's another analogy. So here we go again. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. Increasing. In the new month, the days increase. You got the first day, second day, fifth, third, fourth. It gets higher and higher. Then what it does, it decreases and start back at 1. It's really simple, but you know. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changes. So the month, new moon, increasing wonderfully in her changing. It's changing. It's not decreasing. It's increasing to the full, what we call a full moon status. Being an instrument of the armies above. Sorry about that. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I took my little thing off there. Okay, I'm back at Sirach 43 and verse 8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing. Because just because we see it lined up, or it was in verse 7, it means that's the first thing. So verse 7 says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. That's how the confusion comes. Y'all brothers and sisters better ask the Most High for understanding. Because verse 8 start referring to it as the month. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. So it becomes to be that shining after it increases wonderfully. It becomes that shining instrument in the armies above, the stars, all the stars. Because I know when y'all hear armies, y'all always thinking military. Army is just a multitude, a large number. It doesn't always refer to, oh, we got our guns, we soldiers, blah, blah, blah. So let's go into, let me read verse 9. I had that on my list. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. So they are doing what they're commanded to do. Sometimes I wish I was like the moon. I look at the moon, I look at the stars, and I just pray that I can have the same obedience that these two objects that the Most High created. At the commandment of verse 10, at the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. Man, if we had that ability, like the moon and the stars and the sun, to follow the commandments of the Most High. That's why we are rehearsing these righteous acts, so we can get to that perfection, strive to that perfection. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 2. So now we know a new moon gets the month gets its word from moon month. And a new month for us, the Most High instituted the first month for us of our year. That's why we don't celebrate January 1st as the new year. There you go with that doctrine. If we say we following the new moon, which falls here on Esau calendar as the 23rd at even, how can you say we following what Esau talking about doing? Esau do not consider the new moon as their new month. So as we go to Exodus chapter 12, just like I was saying, January 1st is not our new year. Most I say the beginning of our months, meaning the beginning of our year, which is Esau, January the 1st. Well, ours don't fall like that because we follow the new moon. So let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So this is the Most High telling Moses to talk to us. Let's go down to verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. So here we go, we're preparing for the Passover. So we know the Passover falls for us late March, beginning of April, around in that time. You got to follow intercalary months and stuff like that. So y'all need to start paying attention and learn how to count your months. Don't just be following what everybody say now. Start learning. So what you going to do if the internet goes out? What you going to do if all the electrical devices go out? You trying to rehearse these righteous acts? Or y'all going to learn how to count your own months? Especially in your own household. Y'all need to learn this stuff so you can teach your children. So you can teach your fellow brother and sister if they have those questions. Don't just say, oh, let me see what the elders them say. No, don't do that. Don't count on that all the time. It's always good to ask questions. So if you read this Exodus chapter 12, it goes and tells you how to keep the Passover. So the Most High was telling Moses to tell us, this month shall be unto you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first month of the year for you. So let's get that also, what that month was. Let's go to Exodus chapter 13 and verse 4. 13 and verse 4. This day came ye out in the month of Abib. So we came out of Egypt in the month of Abib. The Most High said, this is the month I brought y'all out of here. This is going to be the beginning of your months. The month of Abib. Abib, meaning ear of corn, first ear of corn, green ear of corn. So when does that stuff grow? When do things are always growing fresh and new? So-called springtime. That's when it's planted. You know, that's when everything fresh and new. We don't celebrate no New Year. I know I'm talking about the New Year because that was the beginning of the month. I was showing you months. But if you just think, brothers and sisters, you can't keep stuff in the dead winter. Everything it ain't ready. It's all dead and not new yet. New year, new month, new fresh moon, dark, and it starts increasing. It starts increasing. All right, so the month of Abib. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 1. I just want to get Abib to let you know that was the beginning of a month, beginning of the month of the year for us. So I'm gonna let you know that with the Deuteronomy 16 and verse 1. So I'm gonna establish this for you. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. By night. So the Most High is telling us right here that the month of Abib is the beginning of the month. So when y'all hear the month of Abib, that's the new year for the children of Israel. For the children of Israel. Now, let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 20. 1 Samuel chapter 20. I'm not going to get too much more. I'm not going to even get more in that full moon foolishness. It's already been talked about. The class is up there. If you got any questions, you can call me, reach out to me, because I don't have my time to waste on foolishness anymore. That's another thing. Most High say don't even get that stuff an hour. Reject a heretic. If somebody keep coming at you with that foolishness, stop. Just let it be. Know what y'all believe, go do it. Go do it. Funny, we read, well, coming up next February, there won't even be a full moon in that month. I wonder how y'all going to deal with that. But anyway, 1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 24. Now, if you read this, Saul was coming after David. He wanted to kill David. So the new moon was coming up. Well, I'm going to show you here, a new moon is the beginning of a month. New moon is the beginning of a month. And so David hid himself in the field. And when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. So the new moon, like we sat down and ate, and brothers come by, get some plates. A lot of you brothers and sisters may have convocated together and you enjoyed the new moon feast. It's a feast day. You're supposed to join gladness, not bickering and fighting. I'm quite sure that goes on, but hey, like I did the class the other day, worthy of death. Continuing. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. So David wasn't there. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. So, of course, Saul had his hatred toward David, which a lot of y'all have for each other. And he wished the man was dead. Continue. And it came to pass on the morning, which was the second day of the month. So here's another day. That's why I really just wanted to show you. It said nevertheless, verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? So it was a new moon, began in verse 24, and we got down to verse 27. It said, and the morrow came, and it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day. So letting you know, when there's a new moon, that's the first day of the month. First day of the month. Because when they went on talking about continuing going on with their life, the second day of the month. Second day. So new moon is the new month. New moon is a new month, increasing, because it's going to increase. The day is going to increase. The day, the first day of the month, the next day, the second day, third, fourth, fifth, increasing. Then it would decrease down to the first day. Really simple mathematics. Let's go to Amos chapter 8 and verse 5, because today was like a Sabbath. You shouldn't have been buying, selling. Only thing you was able to do was cook because it's a feast day. But if that new moon fell on a 7-day Sabbath, the 7-day Sabbath supersedes them all. Day of rest, a day of no cooking. So you would have prepared your feast. You could have prepared your food before then. So let's go to Amos chapter 8 and verse 5, because this is the spirit I guarantee a lot of you all had on you today. Amos chapter 8 and verse 5. Those days. That's why 28. You don't serve excuse. Saying, when will the new moon be gone? A lot of y'all like, when's the new moon? When this first day of this month celebration gonna be gone? I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to go to the store. I gotta buy something. I'm ready to sell on Israelite trade and exchange. I'm ready to sell on eBay. I'm ready to do something. That's the same attitude y'all have. Saying. But when you read this, that's what they're talking about. Saying, hear this saying, when will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? I'm ready to sell my goods. Man, need to wait. And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great. They're ready to deceive. Ready to sell. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna use it in today's term. I got this highlighter. I got LawLife school on it and all that now. I'm starting selling these highlighters. I got this highlighter for 10 cents. 15 cents with shipping. But I'm gonna sell it to you all for $15. That's robbery. That's ridiculous. But that's how we are. That's how y'all. It's a lot of us still got that same spirit. We'll get a product. We try to get rich off our people, and then use this the spirit of why y'all don't want to shop with your people. That's how I want to shop with the people. But I can go get this same highlighter for 15 cents. You try to charge me $15. I might as well go shop with Moab. They wicked, you wicked. So I go with the cheap wicked. But anyway, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn in the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small, making the weight of the amount of wheat they were selling small, and the shekel great. They want more money and falsifying the balances by deceit. But what I want out of that, you're not supposed to be selling anything on the new moon. It's a Sabbath, no working. But that's why I made the statement. If you brothers and sisters had to work, pray to the Most High that He give you forgiveness. Point blank, period. Let's go to Isaiah right quick. I think it's Isaiah 66. And that's pretty much it. Brothers, this is not deep. I know people think these are deep things. Most High don't make His laws deep. He don't make them parables. He make it clear for you. Rehearse these righteous acts. Teach these to your children. Let's try to break that chain. When we show you this, and you hear foolishness of y'all following Esau, but Esau don't celebrate the new moon as the new month. So how are we following Esau? How is it witchcraft and all that? from one, you're gonna come worship him. You're gonna come worship. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, have that work day. So anyone can come out of their mouth and say, "Oh, Christ is not." Okay. Well, y'all be in the Pope house. Now, when Jesus was in the house, Jesus understood it. He said unto them, "Why trouble you the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. Always with you, but me you have not all. And on my body, she did my burial." Same say, we to the poor. Y'all brothers and sisters, she did a good work upon me. So y'all leave her alone. So Christ said, you always got people you can deal with. Me, not always. I'm for the children of Israel. I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the children of Israel. So wherever you go out and preach this, you gotta bring enjoy this close your shalom.